cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena.
Welcome back, everybody, to Blease Talk Radio. And, you know, I told you we were going to come back and talk about animals. And so with that, while you were listening to those commercials, Mandy went and got one of the animals. So you're going to want to log into the Blease Talk Radio Facebook page or email me. You know, the Blease Talk Radio Facebook page has the albums on there, of course, and you can see these pictures because we're going to post them all up there. And you're going to get to meet Marge. But so tell us about Marge and what she is.
Well, Marge is a forest wood turtle here in Belize, and she looks horrible right now with all these gadgets and everything on her back. But what had happened is she was crossing the road and didn't make it in time and got hit by a vehicle. At least someone had stopped and found her, and with her cracked shell, she was still alive and brought her in, and they performed surgery. Dr. Isabel performed surgery, and what they've done is they've glued, they've used epoxy, and these are zip ties, if you can see.
It's amazing, yes.
Which, I kid around, it's like when she gets physical therapy, we can kind of use it as a leash, and she can't go too far. But Marge will be with us for about a year and recovering. Through her accident, she had a little bit of spinal cord injury, and so though her front legs are moving quite well, her back legs aren't moving so well. And my understanding through Dr. Isabel is that may kick in a while when she finishes recuperating. Right now she'll kind of like do the back leg push, but as she's out in the yard getting her exercise, more and more she'll get better.
She's very sweet, and it's a wood turtle, huh?
Yes, forest wood turtle. So they don't burrow so much, they'll just get under type of leaves and things. But they play a very important part to the ecology because they eat certain rodents. They love protein. They'll eat bugs. They serve a good
wait a minute.
purpose.
Marge couldn't get across the road, but she can catch a rodent.
Well, maybe she's eating a dead one.
Oh, okay.
But right now, her favorite meal besides mealworms is chicken.
She likes chicken.
Yes, we give her chicken.
But you didn't get that out in the wild.
No, she's very spoiled here. She's on vacation. She's in Club Med.
Marge, you might just want to keep those legs in the back just stiff. You're in better hands here anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because, you know, is this like something that, you know, in the, you know, like in the North Americas they would use for surgery, or is this because, you know, in Belize you use different things?
This is what you do.
Yeah,
This
that's amazing.
is called
It's brilliant.
Third world. You know, you use what you use. And in that box right there is something very unique to talk about.
There's a box. That's yes.
Yes, this is a toucan.
There's bones in there.
A toucan beak, the bill. And it's very light. We had passed it around early. And I know everyone was surprised about how light it is.
It's like light as a feather. Mm-hmm. I always wondered that, you know, how the toucans have the, you know, why they don't fall over because their bills are so big.
Yeah.
And by the way, before I moved to Belize, I had never seen a toucan other than on the Fruit Loop box. I don't know about you,
beautiful?
but I mean, to see them literally in the trees and the little ones, the araucaries, it's like, you've got to be kidding me. They're the most beautiful birds. But so now I feel much better. I won't feel sorry for them anymore that they're going to flip over. It is amazing.
I tell you, the first one I saw, I just was amazed because, like you, I've never seen one, and that was one thing moving here. Is like I finally saw one in my tree, and I named her Streisand. I thought that's a perfect name for a toucan, right?
Streisand.
You know, got that just regal nose, Streisand.
I love that. Barbara Streisand's in Belize, in Mandy's tree.
Well, I had, through the process of helping out and meeting Dr. Isabel, she had a toucan. It wasn't this one. She had a toucan that came in that had a broken wing, and she needed to put in a bone pin. She wasn't at the growth that she is today where she'd have employees or techs. So it was her, and she's like, can you help me? I need someone to just lay your hand here. I'm going to put the toucan here. And you just count the breaths, the beads, and you times it by 20, and you tell me if that changes so I can change the anesthesia machine. So I got front row seats to something, not only am I seeing a toucan, but watching this amazing woman help this toucan. It was like the best thing in my life. It really was. And But the unique thing, let me tell you.
More unique than that?
No, even more unique. No, same thing like this as uses is when you're using anesthesia, we all know with anesthesia, you've got the thing that goes over your nose. What do you use for a toucan? Because they have this big beak, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. You can't just put...
No. Guess
did
what
you use?
Dr. Isabel did? Everyone knows the Pedialyte bottles that are about so big.
Yes.
And it has the screw top. Yes. She had rigged that so it worked perfect for the anesthesia machine. And then the bottom of it, she cut it off, and then she took one of her sterile gloves and had placed that around there, and then she put the whole entire empty Pedialyte bottle over the beak of the toucan, and that's how she administered anesthesia for the surgery.
That's
and
amazing.
I knew then, I was amazed with this woman because she was the MacGyver of wildlife.
MacGyver of wildlife.
You have to be. You have to be in Belize. And now to have the opportunity of working with her, I just respect her so much. But it's just crazy, amazing things that happen here.
Oh, fantastic, though.
Yeah.
What kind of animals? I know we have Marge, the wood turtle, we've been taught. And we had the mice that we got to play with, which was fun, too, because they're so cute. And what other animals besides the toucan, too, that have you had here?
Well, we've had many. We've had spider monkeys. We've had the howler monkeys. We've got a few of the skulls of the way. We had a howler monkey recently that was up at Shinotnich that had fallen. Right now, up in the reserve, we have raccoons, 3 raccoons. And I know some people will say, well, why raccoons? Well, all the animals play a part in conservation and in the balance. They're the scavengers, they're the cleaners, they're the things. So we've seen everything. She has tended to a vulture. And we've even had Mike the squirrel. Brown squirrels are
Mike
not...
the squirrel.
Mike the squirrel. Brown squirrels are not very much known here. We don't have a lot of them. So being able to say, yeah, we're going to be helping and treating with all wildlife so that they're given a proper chance to be placed out there to do what they do. So we've had the kinkajous, coatis.
The kinkajous are so amazing, aren't they?
Yes. In fact, right now we have Lily the kinkajou that was, she was poached. She was a baby. And a tourist had bought her only for the reason of they were going to make sure that she was going to get the proper treatment.
Nice.
And kind of knew through the channels how to get to the clinic. And though we do not encourage anyone to buy poached animals, parrots, whatever it might be, because you're just then adding to the problem of people stealing these babies or killing the parents, stealing the babies to make money instead of keeping the wildlife where they need to be, which is wild.
I buy it and take a picture of them and then show the people who sold it to me, but it's rescue the animal.
Well, Lily, the kinkajou, she was adorable. And she has been rehabbed and released. She's had what they call a soft release. So when she's up in the reserve and she's given her papaya and bananas and all the things that she loves, they keep the door ajar so that she can come and go. But there's still the big stump in there, the big tree stump that she would sleep in. So she's been gone for a while. We do have a field camera on the way because as we continue to feed her, we want to make sure it is her coming back. My son even spent one night in a hammock up there waiting.
I
all
saw
night.
your
Yes.
post on that. I am
Yes.
leaving my son alone in the jungle.
Volunteers come in all different. If you want to sit out there in the middle of the jungle and be a field camera for us, we could use you. But and she didn't come back that night. But last week she did come back. She has a minor wound, which is probably from another kinkajou. But what was so neat is she knew where to go to get help. So one of our techs says she went up to provide the daily food, was kind of a little startled because there's Lily the kinkajou in the cage in her stump, in her wood stump, and it kind of startled Lily too. But Lily's doing great. She's on antibiotics and she has the freedom to come
She
and
knew
go.
where to go.
So she knew where to go.
Just like children when they
Yeah.
turn 18, they go, but they come back.
It's like stray cats. They knew to come to my house. The wildlife know to go to Dr.
Well, that's the
Isabel.
note at the bottom of the road that says, go to Manny's house, she'll take care of you.
always has been, no matter where we live.
I believe that.
Yeah.
So I know there's something else that you're working on right now, and that's the cause, and I'd like you to speak about that because I
Yes.
think it's fascinating.
Oh, thank you. Well, CAWS stands for Cayo Animal Welfare Society. And there's a group of us here in Cayo. Cayo, when you hear of Cayo, Cayo is a district in Belize, but Cayo to many people is a location of San Ignacio, Santa Elena area.
true.
That's what we call Cayo. Though a lot of people that might not know that, so that's why it's called Cayo. But Cayo Animal Welfare Society is recently started for really three purposes. One is for education on proper maintenance for animals. Number two is to help communicate, as we have mission and education groups that come in to do spay-neuter clinics. We can help connect them with the neighborhoods. And since we're here, it makes it easier for them. And to work with all the vets that are here and to help in any way that we can volunteer or help. In fact, there was a big one this past weekend, which was great.
And what did you do last weekend?
Oh, it was in two certain areas. And actually Hopkins Humane Society.
Which Hopkins is not in the Cayo district. But
No,
it's,
total. We all work together.
by
That's
the
how we're
ocean.
going to make a difference. Is we all have to work together. We
true.
cannot be
We
territorial.
share the resources. Yeah.
Yes. And they came out with a few doctors from the States and doctors from here, and one of the doctors from here in Cayo. And they did a free spay-neuter clinic. They were also giving out free rabies shots, free well checks. And one of the things that I got to do was to sit on the floor with the dogs and cats that are waking up after anesthesia and just kind of give them some love until it's time for them to go home. So
Make
those
sure
are
they're
things that you just didn't get to do in the States that anyone can do here.
Yeah, it is way different, isn't it? Who was the local vet? Was it Tessicum?
Dr. Tessicum.
Dr. Tessicum. And actually, when I moved here 11 years ago, Tessicum, and actually Isabel, started to make sure some animals could get taken care of. So this is a passion that they've always had forever.
Yes.
But the big thing was I've brought animals in, and I will find them on the streets, and I will bring them to Tessicum and say, here's some money, take care of them, and find them a home.
Yes.
Because you can only take so many, right? Remember
Yes,
that?
yes.
I know Michael will appreciate me saying that. Remember, you can only take so many, Mandy. But that was another way to pay it forward, so you still know the animal's taken care of. So
Yes.
I like what you had shared was that they can come here to this, to the clinic that we're in, obviously, and bring the animals and still help the wildlife too. But so, CAWS, do you have a group of people that are funding this together, or
This
how are
is
you doing
brand new.
Okay.
But the third thing that we're looking at too is what we feel is very important is stray care. Because even though we see the spay-neuter clinics coming in or the mission groups coming in, is who's bringing the strays to the clinics, and those are the ones that are getting pregnant, that need help, and no one's bringing them. So that's one of our focuses too, is stray care. So it's a new group. There's just a few of us. We're in the process right now of membership, and we're providing free membership right now. We have a website at cayoanimalwelfaresociety.org. We also have a Facebook page, Cayo Animal Welfare Society, and we like CAWS, CAWS, because it's all for a good cause. We have a cause here, and we want to work with everyone to make sure that we have a better home, a better situation. If you come here, one of the complaints we get a lot from tourism is the street dogs and the
Yes.
conditions we see street dogs in. And even back in the States and others, you see the Humane Society commercials, and those dogs
Oh, dear
look
Lord.
great compared to our dogs. You know how that is.
Those commercials break my heart.
Yeah, I know they do. But if you
do.
put one of our dogs on it, that would be it.
Or one of our pot liquors.
Yeah.
We've had two different clients that have actually taken a dog, taken him to the vet to get taken care of, and have taken him back to the United States because they're like, we can give it a home and make it a home with other
Yes.
animals. So
Yes.
that's interesting. You hear people adopting, animals from here too.
So-
But you're right. If they see a stray, bring them in.
Yes. And
So where do they bring? They'll contact you on the Facebook page.
They can contact us. Actually, it's more stray care. The idea is to trap, neuter, release at that place in that neighborhood because they're there. We don't want to be a shelter where people are bringing in dogs because there have been studies that have been done. If you create a shelter and everyone brings in all the unwanted animals, it doesn't change the numbers on the streets
Oh.
because people will get more animals and more unwanted animals will be made.
Okay.
We know it'd be very easy to start a shelter, but this is a way of not having a shelter and to get people involved. If you find a dog, if you can take care of that dog, we can use social media to find the right home. We can work for spay and neuter clinics. Let's get food, let's get deworming, let's get the right medicines that they need and help each other. But overall, when we're always going to have street dogs, but they can be in better condition and we can minimize their numbers too.
Yes, by the spay and neutering, of course. Which
so
is
it's a larger group. One of the things that that cause looks at, because I wear a few different hats.
Yes, you do. You think?
But we all work together, and that's how we're going to make it success. Is with the street dogs that we have, we're looking into specific IDing that is very open, or visual, so everyone can see. What can happen with that is with these certain collars that you can grab the ID. It's not like an Avid scan, but you can get the information. So we know on a street dog, when was the last time they were dewormed? When was the last time they received their rabies? Or if there's a tourist on the street that, they're sitting under their table, but, getting a little bit of food from you, and you happen to see the collar, you can pull it up on your phone and saying, I'm a homeless dog. This is, if you want to help me or if you want to adopt me, contact this way. And so we can really help with education and really help these dogs connect with the right people, or let people know I am strayed, I am taken care of, but you can make a donation for my next round of medication.
And also they know then by the collar system who actually has been already taken in and taken care of
so
at
we're
some
not
point.
overdosing or having issues that way.
Bringing 10 of the same animals in that have already been spayed and
Yes.
neutered. So I like that idea actually. And someone had just said, it was a client we were working with this week actually, said, I find it interesting that all of these dogs that I see out and about are friendly. And it never had occurred to me because we live here, or being here so long, you're used to what you see. But I had to look at it from their eyes, going, they are friendly. You don't have to be afraid of a dog you're walking in the street.
No, they're very
It's
friendly,
very
but they see
interesting.
us as a primary food source because as tourists are moving, even me, I'm guilty of always carrying something a little extra in my purse. When
Really?
I see a dog that
I would
doesn't
never
have...
I would never think
No,
that.
not at all. That's why I have 11 animals. Come on, follow me home. No.
Oh yeah.
My husband won't know, no.
He won't recognize. He won't notice one more. It's just one more.
This is one more. He won't know. But they are very friendly. A lot of them are very scared. A lot of them have been abused. They've had rocks thrown on them. They've been kicked at. They are then wanted. And there is an ugly, dark story to a lot of the street dogs that we have. They need help. They need care. And there's a group of people here that would like to make sure that education happens so others can understand the proper care. We're going to have a bath workshop. Can you imagine a fundraiser? We're actually going to have like a tub.
And you're going to
and we're
bathe
gonna
the
a
doggies?
dog wash. Can you imagine? We're going to have teenagers out there. There's going to be soaps everywhere and teach people proper dog wash.
A dog wash.
And how fun it can be when people see the smiles and the giggles and everyone's wet.
And the dogs
That'll
come
be
out
fun.
and they shake themselves all around. Are you
Yeah.
going to do cats too? It's a
Oh,
dog
they-
wash, right? No, you're not going to have any of that.
But here in Belize, we do have parasites. It is much different. The medicines that you need your pets to use so that they can have a healthy life. We do have ticks. We do have fleas. We do have worms. We do have a lot of things that they do need care for, more than we would find back in the States, especially since we lived in southern Nevada where it was dry and nothing like a flea or tick lived.
In Florida, it's like the same thing. I came from Florida, and it's like the same thing. But so
Yeah.
you're right. All my animals had to have the, the medicine and ivermectin and everything.
Yeah. So that's all new to
Then
a
we
few
could
of us. But the street dogs need that too. The strays
Yes,
need that too.
You're making sure that they have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that group of people that have joined with you to do this, are they passionate so much about animals like you are too?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
In
must
fact,
be.
this was not even my dream. There were other people that said, you know what, this is something that we need and need to move forward with. And I just jumped on board with them. So I wish they were here speaking with me today. But they said, no, you go right ahead.
So many people are like, okay, they get shy. But you're a great spokeswoman, so there you go. That
Oh,
makes
thank
it
you.
huge. So
So we always need help as cause too. Like I said, you can visit our website, you can visit our Facebook site, and contact us. We're a very infant stage in growing, but with the stray care alone, we're going to need collars. With the ID
collars, okay.
system that we'll be working on. And just, when it comes to these spay and neuter clinics, one of the things that we find here is a lot of these dogs have what's called tick fever. And it's a progression that they're bitten by a tick and it infects them. And it can make them bleed real easily. So that can also create surgeries that are a little bit not as healthy. But we have seen more cases of tick fever that become more neurological, and death can result. So when the vets have seen, say at one of these free spay and neuter clinics, about tick fever, and they need the doxycycline to treat them for 28 days, if that family doesn't have the money for the doxycycline, that's where us as cause would like to come in and provide the funds so that we can make sure that that dog will be healthy, not just through the spay and neuter, but that he gets the antibiotics he needs so that he can fight tick fever.
which is smart, because that is something that they have to use antibiotics for quite some time,
And
right?
who's going to pay for that?
Yeah, that's true. Like the same
If
thing.
a
Who's gonna
family's
pay
there
for
to
it?
free spay and neuter, there's a reason why it's a free spay and neuter. There's services that's very needed.
Are you finding a lot of people are taking advantage of the free spay and neuter programs?
Yes,
They
and there's
are.
a lot more. I think there could be so much more done here for that, which is great. And I think there will be. When I was sitting there last week, one woman was saying, "I'm so glad you're back. We've been waiting for a year for this group to come back." And I think, wow, it's been a year since this certain neighborhood has seen the veterinarians come in, and they really appreciated the care and had a lot of questions.
How wonderful. So you're actually educating, not only getting the spay and the neutering, but their continuous care of their animals. Even the dog washing. Where are you going to do the dog washing?
Oh, I think it should be somewhere downtown
Oh, I
so
think
that
it'd be
we
so
could
much
just
fun.
be a total spectacle and everyone would be laughing. And
Of course.
yeah.
I think that's way too much fun. We want pictures of that too. That's way too fun.
But let's have fun with it, right?
But-
Let's create something that's positive and fun.
And you're doing that with your life, aren't you, here?
I love it here. I do. I really do. I know it's
shows.
very different, but it fits me. And have I grown? Have I changed? Absolutely. And is there pain with change? Absolutely. And have there been things I've missed? Absolutely. But this is my home. This is my adopted home, and I love it here.
Yeah. I resemble that remark.
Yes.
I resemble that remark.
Yes.
So what do you feel, if I had to ask you, I'll put you on the spot here, with like one phrase or one word of how your life is different since moving to Belize?
It's real. It feels real.
Authenticity, huh?
It is. The friendships are real. I have time to do
You're
things.
going to make me cry, because it's true.
It is. It's
Yeah.
not as fast paced, but it's real. And I feel that I really make a difference here.
Yeah, it's authentic.
Belize is still so small that one person can make a difference, even if it's just sitting on the floor rubbing a dog's belly while he's coming out of surgery.
Coming out of surgery. I did, something I've shared with people is that you can see firsthand how you've helped people, and that makes your life matter. It makes
It makes me complete.
What a great experience that you've given to your son to move here.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
I know in another interview that we had done, and I don't know, listeners, if you had listened to the previous ones earlier this year, I believe, we did one that was about, talking about your son having that experience, that you wanted to move while he was still under, your roof and, under 18. And what do you think this has been for him like? 3 years?
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. My city kid, my shy city kid is now this most outgoing, self-assured young man, responsible young man that is just taking control of his life, and I think getting just the full feel and understanding of not only childhood, teenage, and just the freedom, just the absolute freedom. And he spent the night out in the jungle. What other teen, they'd want to be in front of electronic device. He's like, no, he loves to go out in the jungle. He took a jungle survival course, and they had to do 24 hours out by themselves and survive provide by themselves. They were given a machete and a lighter, and that's all they had. And that changed him. He loves the jungle. And now our family, I'm telling you, the other day we're driving down the road and someone says, snake. What happens? All the doors open. We go run to see what kind of snake it is. That's just how.
Not snake. Wow, get away.
What
Snake,
kind
let
is
me
it?
see it.
Yeah.
Snake, let
We're
me see
enjoying
it.
it here. Even the bugs. If you know me or have been friends with me on Facebook, you know how I take pictures of insects and everything. It's just crazy. But who knew I loved all this stuff? Who knew? I was just a city girl. I loved all this stuff.
You had to come to Belizeport.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show
You're
today.
welcome,
What
Macarena. It's so good to see you again.
A wealth of information,
Thanks
but how
for having
wonderful.
me.
And thanks for sharing both wonderful things that you're working on, and good for you for living your life the way you are. Listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this show as much as I have. It's an honor and privilege as always to be your host. I'm Macarena Rose, signing off of Belize Talk Radio for the Overseas Radio Network.
Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena.